This is part 5 out of 6 of my video series on how to draw a realistic face. So in this video we are going to draw the neck, and then in the last part we will draw the hair. So subscribe and hit the bell icon so you will get a notification when I upload the last part. But for now, let's draw the neck. If you have been following this video series, I'm sure you are now familiar with the fact that I like to start with an HB pencil. So with the HB pencil, I add color mainly where the shadows are, and then I add a little less color where it's supposed to be slightly lighter, as you will see by looking at the reference photo and in the video, of course. And just like I explained in part 2 when we drew the skin, you want to tilt the pencil and sort of draw with the side of it rather than the tip, just to make the skin look softer in the end. Then you want to blend this out with a tissue paper first. Then you can use a Q-tip for the smaller areas, such as by the collarbones. Next, take a 2B pencil and darken up the shadows that are under the chin. And then you can blend it again with the Q-tip and the tissue paper. You can then go in with a 6B and a 2B pencil and increase some shadows further. The area that is right under the chin can tend to be quite dark, so we want to build it up in several layers. So I do this a few times, and I also use a blending stump to blend where I want the shadows to look sharper. But if you feel like they become too sharp, you can use the tissue paper afterwards as well. And I recommend that the 6B pencil should be used right at the most outer part of the neck, and then the 2B pencil a bit further in where the shadows should not be as intense. The shadows are also usually the darkest right at the edge between the chin and the neck, like I'm drawing here. By the way, I don't think I mentioned it since the other skin video, but remember to still keep a paper under your hand so you don't smudge anything out. Then I also used the kneaded eraser in some places where I felt that I might have applied too much color. And to even the area out afterwards, I used the dirty tissue paper on top of that. And as you could see, when I used the kneaded eraser, I used more of a patting motion. Next, I used the blending stump and tissue paper to blend everything out even more. And just like I mentioned in the previous video, I think it's good to zoom in on your reference photo because there might be shadows in the lighter areas that are more difficult to see. But then when you zoom in, you can actually find that an area has many different shades. And then in those areas, you can also use your dirty blending tools to add a soft layer of color instead of using the pencil right away, just in order to not make it too dark. I then used the kneaded eraser again to highlight a bit on the collarbone, and then even it out with the tissue paper on top. Then I take the HB pencil and increase the shadow by the collarbones as well, and then blend it out. After that, you can add some more shadows where you think it's needed. And personally, I use the HB pencil for this since I only wanted to add just a little bit more color. Then I also adjusted some highlights again with a kneaded eraser. I then went ahead and added some birthmarks by drawing tiny circles in one small area using a 2H pencil. And you can look at the reference photo and see where to add those birthmarks. Next, I grab a 6B pencil and fill in the top necklace. And this necklace is very dark, but it still has some variation in shades. So you don't want to make it too dark all over. But I mean, to be honest, I don't draw the necklaces exactly as they look like in the reference photo because, yeah, I'm not that patient when it comes to details. So you can be as detailed as you want. And yeah, you could see me drawing on the side paper approximately in what pattern I drew the necklace, but you can make it different if you want to. For the bottom necklace, the string is basically just a black string, but for the thing in the middle, I forgot what it's called. There are some shadows and highlights there, and since this area is really small, I try my best to replicate what I see in the reference photo, but again, you don't have to make it exact. So I'm using a 0.3mm mechanical pencil since it's very thin, and then I blend it with my smallest blending stump, and I also use the 6B pencil again in the places where it's really dark. Then I take a white gel pen and draw wherever those intense highlights are in the reference photo. And for the t-shirt, I mean, it's just a white t-shirt, which can actually be a bit tricky to draw because there are not that many prominent shadows, but you still need to add some shadows to make it more realistic. So I first used the 0.3mm mechanical pencil to outline it a bit, and then I used the dirty blending tools to add some color in the areas where it was a little bit darker at least. I also tried to add some texture to it with this small blending stump by adding some vertical lines. I then took the kneaded eraser to remove some color where I think it was too dark. I also tried to add some vertical lines with it as well. And I honestly think it's easier to draw darker shirts, but yeah, I mean, here we are. I try my best, and I think as long as the face and the hair and the neck looks good, then the shirt is less important, especially since you can't see much of it in this drawing anyway. In the end, I just increased some shadows under the chin again, and after that I felt done. So you can adjust any shadows or highlights wherever you want until you feel like you're done as well. And as a bonus thing, I also took the 2H pencil to draw this, what's it called, like this crease on the neck, but that's it. Then I just adjusted the highlights and the shadows until I was done. But yeah, that is actually it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, of course, so you won't miss the next part. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video.